Alright, I'm assuming you are moving to a new city and that's why you're watching this video. So, in this video, I'll help you to find out a PG, and not just a PG but also a flat, and not just a flat but also flatmates. Because when you're moving to a new city, you might not know enough people who can share the expenses of the flat with you. So, in this video, we'll talk about how you can find your PG or your flat and flatmates, and just some general tips on making your food arrangements. And this is especially important if you are moving from, let's say, north to south or south to north, because if that's the case, then there will be a lot of difference in the dishes, in the cuisines that we generally consume in different parts of the country. So from that angle, it's going to be important. So let's get started. First, let's talk about figuring out PG. So a simple solution, simple and probably not that much of an effort that you have to make for this one is there are some platforms like Stanza Living, TrueLive, Housing, etc. These platforms provide you a very good place, a furnished place to stay and to share with other people. So these are generally very good places, very good facilities, hygiene, and in every other aspect. However, you need to pay a little bit of premium for these places, so the charges are a little bit on the higher side. And if you are okay with paying a little bit extra for that very good, those very good facilities, very good in general the arrangement, etc. So these places, these platforms can be a very good place for you to go to and look for a PG. So this is for a PG if you are okay paying a little bit higher for the kind of service that you are getting. Now coming to flats, so if you want to, let's say, stay in a flat but you don't have any flatmates who can share the flat with you, and you don't really know the flat as well, so there are communities on Facebook. They are based on the name of the city. So for example, if I'm looking for a flat and probably flatmates too in Chennai, then I'll go to Facebook and search flat and flatmates Chennai. So that will give me a lot of pages, a lot of groups where people like you and me go to find flats and flatmates. So you can join those communities and put your post, put your requirement out there that I'm looking for a flat or 2 BHK flat or 3 BHK or whatever, and at this price in this location, whatever. So other people who are looking for such sort of requirements, they can approach you, or if you see someone posting requirements similar to yours, you can approach them. So this is a very good place for us to find out potential flatmates and also find out some flats in the locality that where you want to stay. So that's about the flat and flatmates. Pretty, I think, clear and easy to follow. So just go to Facebook and look for these sort of groups, and there you can find your flat and flatmates. Now, if you are looking for a PG but on the affordable side, so initially we looked at these platforms like Stanza Living, TrueLive, etc., but they were on the higher side. So if you are looking for a PG but on the affordable side, then I would suggest you to use some 2-3 platforms like No Broker, Magic Brick, and then Just Dial is another one. So you can go to these platforms and do a thorough sort of research. So how you go about it is in the following way. For example, I'm looking for a PG in particular location like Royapeta. So I can go to each of these platforms and search PGs in Royapeta and shortlist some PGs from each of these platforms based on the price and based on the images that you see of the room. So once you shortlist those, you can try contacting the owner or whoever is the person whose number is mentioned, and get some more details about it, get maybe some new photos of the place, and if you like it, then you can go and visit and then make your decision accordingly. So imagine in case you could not find any PG that appealed to you and you wanted to explore more. So what you can do is you can now search for adjacent places of your preferred locality. So for example, I my preferred sort of location is Royapeta, but I could not find any PG that appealed to me in this particular location on these 2-3 platforms. I can start looking for PGs in the adjacent localities, adjacent areas. So, for example, Nungambakam. So, I can now search for PGs in Nungambakam on all these platforms and then shortlist and then maybe visit. And if you like it, then you can obviously purchase or pay the rent for it or book it. So, that's how you can do it, but you also should keep in mind that there is proper connectivity between your preferred locality and the new locality where you are going, new area where you are going. So I would recommend having metro connectivity. That's, I think, the best option, but otherwise bus or any other means you think would do for you, then that's also fine. But I personally feel that if you have good metro connectivity from where you are staying to your, let's say, office location, that's probably the best thing that can happen. So when you are looking for these adjacent areas, PGs in these adjacent areas, you can also see how far is the metro station from the place where you are going to stay. So that is going to help a lot. So I think these are three sort of ways to look for PGs and flats. So to summarize, initially, if you want to just pay a little bit premium for a very good service, then you can go to these Tenza Living, Truelive, Housing, etc. These platforms and just book a PG from there, and they are very good in almost every aspect, but just need to pay a little bit higher. Um, that's one option. Another is the flats. So you go to Facebook and search for flat and flatmates in Chennai or flat and flatmates in Bangalore, if you are in Bangalore, let's say, and then join these groups and put your requirement out there, or if someone else has similar requirements, you can approach them and coordinate with them and get a flat and probably the flatmates as well. And third option is to go through these different platforms like No Broker, there's Magic Bricks, there's Just Dial. So go to these platforms and just look at the photos of the PGs, the location, the prices, and shortlist a couple of them, and then approach them. Go to the hostel for a visit, and that's how you can figure out your PG at an affordable price. So these are the three ways to do it, in my opinion. Coming to the food part, especially if you are moving from, let's say, north to south, because I came to Chennai from north, so I had challenges initially with food because I was not very accustomed to eating the South Indian dishes. So the best way to figure out your food part is to talk to someone who has come from your or nearby area. So for example, if I know someone in my PG who is from North India, or at my office someone is from North India, I can approach them and ask them how they are figuring it out, how they have figured it out, and I can also start getting my food from there. So that's, I think, the best way, in my opinion, to do it, to figure out your food, and that's how I did it. But other than that, maybe you can look on internet, etc. Just search for North Indian food or whatever the keywords you think would make sense. So there is another way to do it, but I would recommend getting in touch with people who are from nearby areas of yours, and then ask them how they are managing it, how they are figuring, they have figured out their food part, and you can also get the food from the same place. So I think this is pretty much it and these are two main things, I guess, your accommodation and your food. Rest is okay in my opinion. It will just fall in place as the time goes on. I'll finish it here, and happy moving to a new city. See ya.